What can you say about my big question guest tonight? Where do you start? One of the most beautiful women in the world. A glamour model, a reality star, and a woman who has adorned the walls of more teenagers than the Beatles, the Spice Girls and One Direction put together. Linda Lusardi was born in Wood Green in North London in 1976. How is that possible? At the age of 18, she began appearing as a page 3 girl in the Sun newspaper and continued until 1988. Surely that's a record. She has appeared in the drama series The Bill, top TV soaps Hollyoaks and Brookside, as well as a stint on Emmerdale as Carrie Nichols. She's made movies. She's played Eliza Doolittle in Pygmalion. She's a panto star as well, a former panellist on Loose Women, a contestant on Dancing on Ice and Celebrity MasterChef. So there's more to this lady than just her plunging décolletage. I'm delighted to welcome Linda Lusardi. Hi, Linda.
Hello. Well, I wish I was born in 1976 because I'd be an awful lot younger. It was 1956. No, it wasn't. It was 1958.
Wait a minute. You've got to be kidding me. Steward's inquiry. Because when I read 76, I already thought that you were younger than that.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm very impressed. Thank you.
What's going on? Well, look, you're very well preserved, Linda. What's your secret? What is the key to eternal youth?
I've never been called well preserved before. I don't know. I think. Yeah, I sound like a jam. Exactly. No, I think it's just everything in moderation, really. I do like a drink. I do like eating curries, but I don't do it every single night. I think it helped that I married someone 10 years younger than me, so it's kept my mind younger, and I'm up with computers and all the stuff that's going on at the moment. So I think maybe that has helped mostly. I think being married to someone younger.
Well, it definitely helps. Well, he is surely the second luckiest man in England behind me, of course, in relation to Mrs. Dolan, Linda. But look, I wonder whether the secret of your success is you've had a long career and you love to work. Your career continues apace. You are going to be in Panto this year in Whitley Bay. Tell me more.
Yeah, I'm playing Wicked Queen in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and I'm lucky enough to be working with my lovely little girl, Lucy Kane, who is playing tonight. There she is, and 7 lovely dwarfs. And we're there for 4 weeks. 2 weeks rehearsal, which isn't long to get a musical on, because it basically is a musical with dances and everything else. And this is probably about I hate to say it, about the 30th year that I've done a panto. I only missed one, and that was last year because of COVID.
What is the magic of panto?
I think it's brilliant because it's kids' first introduction into going to the theatre, and hopefully they carry on going through their lifetime. It's about the only show you can shout back at the stage and really get involved. And the kids love it, families love it. There's not many shows that grannies can enjoy and 2-year-olds can enjoy as well. And it's just been part of my life for so long that Christmas really wouldn't be Christmas without panto.
Yeah, and you're fantastic at it. 3 decades, that's quite remarkable. You also are a photographer, so tell me about that.
Yeah, I used to, when I was modelling, take pictures of people and, just amateur pictures. And all the darkroom stuff and everything else put me off, because really the most important thing in a picture, apart from your subject, is the lighting. And I know all about lighting and making women look lovely in pictures and, doing dramatic lighting on, character actors, etc. But when digital photography came in, I started to do it a bit more professionally. And I had a studio built, and I now take pictures mainly for people in the business. I've done everybody from the Hoff to the Osmonds to you name it. I've had so many celebrities in the studio, and I do enjoy it. It's still a hobby. I don't do it every day. So it's just nice to have it occasional, making a living, really.
What kind of a subject was David Hasselhoff?
Well, it was easy to photograph because he was very animated. I certainly didn't have to ask him to smile very much. I don't know if I can tell you this story.
Oh, Linda, this is GB News. It's the home of free speech.
Okay. Well, I actually I helped out with the show that I photographed him for, and they asked me to get, because it was all set in the 80s, so they asked me to get some costumes together for him because he was the star of the show. So I went and I took these costumes to his hotel, and he had gone to have his eyes lasered. And I was a bit cross because I'd come all the way with a, suitcase full of clothes for him. So he said, "Oh, well, look, lay them out on the bed." So I lay them out in all costume form, with the hat, the jacket, the trousers, and the shoes. And I said, "Right, David, can you photograph yourself in them and send them to me? Tell me which ones you like, because some of them have got to go back." And he did photograph them all, but he didn't put the whole outfit on. He just put the hat on and took a picture. Then he took the jacket on and took a picture. And there wasn't much else on.
I can't believe it. You saw David Hasselhoff's Knight Rider.
No, I didn't see his Knight Rider. He did have pants on, but he did put the jacket on with just his socks and shoes.
I'm pleased to hear it. I was going to ask if he had a soft top, but I seem to remember that Kit was a coupe. Now, listen, Linda, before you get me in trouble, and I love that story, by the way, can you give me a couple of reasons why you got the gig on Page 3?
That's a bit rude.
And that's what I want to ask you.
I thought you were a journalist.
I used to be. Linda, how important, on Page 3...
It was my eyes. It was my eyes.
How important, Linda, joking apart, how important, because I worked with Katie Price for a few years, and she said that she actually got that gig on Page 3, following in your footsteps, because of her attitude and her personality. Did you find that to be the case for you as well?
A little bit, because most of the, because you didn't get tweets or Instagram then, most of the reaction you got from the public was by post. And most of the people, believe it or not, used to write about my smile and my eyes and nothing else. So I do think it was important that your personality came across in the picture. And we did, it wasn't all pouting, and they weren't sort of sexual pictures in those days, if that's possible. Whereas a lot as you can see on Instagram these days, without people posting it of themselves.
Well, absolutely, because the truth is, Linda, that things have changed. And when you were on Page 3, it was a more innocent time, wasn't it? And what you did alongside others was sensual. You were in control of the image. Things have changed. Would you want to be in the world of glamour now?
No, I mean, I gave up 30 years ago, so I've got a complete separate life to that life I had then. And I do think the world is a different place now, and I don't really think, it fits in anymore, really.
No. And what do you think about sites like OnlyFans?
I don't actually know a lot about them. I know that people can make an awful lot of money from them, and I don't quite know what goes on because I've never subscribed to be an OnlyFan to anybody. But, I think it's live and let live, and if people are happy making money that way, and if people are happy to give their money to look at what these girls are doing, then who am I to say they can't do it?
You had great success on Page 3. It turned you into a national celebrity. Do you think The Sun were right to get rid of it? Had it passed its sell-by date, do you think, Linda?
Oh, absolutely. I do think so, yeah. I really do. Things have moved on, and we know a lot more of the effect that had on people years ago. And, I absolutely don't think there's a place for it now.
And do you remember your first Page 3 shoot? Because I would have thought back in the day that was like winning the lottery.
No, because you'd go for test shots and all these sort of things, and you didn't really know whether they were going to use the pictures. You never knew when they were going to use them, or if you were going to make the cut, And actually, I was sat at my desk in the tax office in Holborn when I realised that I was on Page 3 that day.
Well, it's an incredible legacy that you have, and it's definitely a throwback to a more innocent and I think respectful time as well. So many questions coming in, Linda. Sarah on Twitter asks, how have you kept your beauty as you have aged? You look as gorgeous as ever. Well, you said everything in moderation, but do you have beauty treatments? Have you been under the surgeon's knife, Linda?
No, but I do a show called Beauty Angels, and we do go and have a lot of tweakments, which don't involve knives, but they do involve a few needles and machinery and bits and bobs that you can use on your face. We started this show during lockdown, me and Debbie Arnold, you can see there, and it's had a great response. And things are moving all the time in the beauty industry, and we're just bringing it and highlighting it to the public, the ladies out there, and the men out there that perhaps want to, enhance themselves, but without surgery.
How can people find out about Beauty Angels?
It's on YouTube. We've done 10 episodes so far, and we've covered everything from, because a lot of the tweakments, as we call them, men are having done now, whether it be rejuvenation or fat removal, or there's so many things you can have done. Really lovely treatments like hydrofacials that clean out all the pores and help with the wrinkles, and Profilo, and there's lots and lots of things you can have done. And that I now look at sort of the actresses and things you see in Hollywood, and realise that a lot of those have had those things done, that not particularly facelifts or implants or nose jobs or all that sort of stuff, but the actual skin treatments and things you can get now are amazing.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there you go. Beauty Angels on YouTube. Check out that 10-part series with doubtless more to come. Linda, we are hopefully at the tail end of the pandemic. I spoke earlier in my monologue about the fact that cases are coming down now. It might not be that we need plan B of COVID restrictions. You were very, very ill with COVID. I'm so sorry. I was really, really shocked when I read about how poorly you were. How are you feeling now?
I think I'm probably 95% back to how I was. I still, have days where I'm tired. I don't have a lot of energy, and I have a bit of brain fog. But every month it's better and better and better. But I'm nowhere near where I was at that time from that awful picture. And I feel that a lot of people are still getting it. They've had 2 jabs. Obviously, they're not having it where they need to be hospitalised, a lot of them. But it's surprising how many people are still going down with it now.
Definitely. Well, Linda, it was a terrible time for you, obviously, and your family, but I think it was an important story because it reminded people how potentially serious COVID can be, including for a healthy, fit person like yourself. I've got a question from Protest Lockdown. Clues in the name. Do you agree with vaccine passports?
Yeah, we've got passports for everything else, haven't we? It makes no difference if you've got a vaccine passport. For me, it's not an invasion. I'd like to let people know I've had 2 jabs. I'd like to know if I'm sat next to somebody who hasn't had 2 jabs. So I am for the passport, yes.
Linda, I've got another great question. So many fantastic questions from my viewers. Jim, thanks for this. Jim says, would you still go topless for a tabloid newspaper?
No, I wouldn't. No, things aren't quite where they used to be. And I put them away permanently 30 years ago, and they're not coming out again.
Look, I tell you something. What a terrible shame that is for your millions of fans. But I've got another one for you, and this is from I believe it's Benny. Is that right? Who used to get more fan mail during your Page 3 modelling days, you or Sam Fox?
I wasn't collecting her posts, so I have no idea.
I think it's Lusardi all the way. Also, another question. Do you believe the modelling business is ageist against models over 50? Benny?
Not anymore. No, we have all shapes and sizes and ages now. And I'm really, really pleased to see it. Most adverts you see for Marks and Spencer's or John Lewis, they've got grey over 50s that you would never have seen 10 years ago. I think it's fantastic.
What about acting? I mean, we would need an hour, 2 hours to talk about your career, because not only have you been a reality star and, of course, a glamour model, but you've been in some of the biggest soaps in the country. What was your best job on telly as an actress?
On telly, I'd have to say it was Emmerdale, really. I spent a year and a bit there and got really nice meaty part and really fitted in with the cast, and I absolutely loved it. And I probably would still be there now if I hadn't got children, but I just felt that they were suffering with me being in Leeds all the time. And, my husband was working as well. So, one of us had to give. And, I thought I've done it, been there, done that. I've sort of got tick lists, and being in a soap was one of them, and I, made my mark while I was there and really enjoyed my time, and I learnt an awful lot as well. So,
Linda,
yeah,
I think it's an amazing career reinvention that you went from modelling into acting. Was it hard to get people to perceive you as an actress rather than a model?
It was a little bit, yeah. At the beginning, it was. I actually got the part of Pygmalion playing Eliza Doolittle, and it was at the Malvern Festival where Bernard Shaw came from. And one of the counsellors there said they didn't want me to play Eliza Doolittle, and I was with Eleanor Summerfield and John Barron and Philip Maddox, so quite a heavy cast. And they insisted I go down and have tea with all the counsellors. And one counsellor said, if I play that part, then he will resign. And I did play that part, and he did resign. But, I got good reviews, and the show was great, and that was that. I was off and running.
A long and successful career. Look, we're so out of time. Got Carol Sikora waiting to give us good news about COVID. Really briefly, but it's a great question from Mac. Did your granny approve of your glamorous lifestyle?
Absolutely. She was my biggest fan. Well, she still is my biggest fan. I've still got my grandma.
Oh, that's wonderful. I am so
Yes.
pleased to hear that. Well, look, you've got so much going on, Linda. Do come and see us in the studio really soon. Fantastic to hear your story, and I'm so glad you're better.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.